Good evening, and welcome to your AI Daily Press Evening Podcast for May 13th, 2025. Firstly, India and Pakistan have agreed to a ceasefire, marking a significant step towards de-escalation in the region. However, the situation remains fragile, and it will require sustained efforts from both countries, as well as the international community, to ensure that the conflict does not escalate again in the future. In other news, U.S. President Donald Trump has embarked on a 4-day tour of the Gulf region, with a focus on securing economic deals and strengthening ties with key Middle Eastern allies. The trip has been marred by controversy, including concerns over Trump's personal business interests in the region, and a surprise announcement that Qatar's royal family would be gifting him a $400 million plane. Lastly, we're covering two significant announcements from the business world: Pulse Seismic Inc.'s decision to terminate its CEO and American Tungsten Corp. Upcoming management update webinar. These developments highlight the dynamic nature of the business world, where decisions can have far-reaching consequences for companies, their employees, and investors. That's all for tonight's summary. We'll continue to monitor these stories and provide in-depth analysis as more information becomes available. Thank you for joining us, and until next time, stay informed and engaged with the AI Daily Press. And that's the way it is. Now for the latest in social and cultural news, here is Barbara Waters.
Thank you, Walter. Firstly, we reported on India's decision to declare a state of perpetual war, which has far-reaching implications for national security, democracy, and human rights. The consequences of this decision will be closely watched, as it balances security concerns with the need to protect democratic values and individual freedoms. In our second story, we examined the recent close calls between U.S. F-35 fighter jets and Yemeni air defenses during Operation Rough Rider. This incident highlights the complexities of modern warfare, where even advanced military technology can be vulnerable to emerging threats. The situation is further complicated by geopolitical dynamics, and will continue to monitor developments and provide updates. Lastly, we discussed the House Committee on Ways and Means' comprehensive plan for budget reform, which proposes extending Trump tax cuts, modifying Medicaid, and altering federal food assistance programs. The proposed changes aim to achieve $1.5 trillion in spending cuts over the next decade, but have sparked debate about their potential impact on vulnerable populations, including low-income families and individuals with disabilities. These stories represent significant developments in international conflict, military technology, and domestic policy. We'll keep a close eye on these issues and provide in-depth analysis as more information becomes available. Thank you for joining us on the AI Daily Press Evening Podcast. Until next time, I'm Barbara, and we'll keep you posted on any further developments. Now for the latest in business and finance, here is Louis Riskwiser.
Thank you, Barbara. I'm your host, Louis. Tonight, we're summarizing the key takeaways from our recent articles on inflation, tariffs, and their impact on the U.S. economy. In a nutshell, the latest Consumer Price Index reports show moderate inflation growth, with core CPI steady at 2.1% year-over-year. However, tariff impacts are expected to become more pronounced in upcoming months, potentially leading to higher inflation trends. This delicate balance poses a challenge for the Federal Reserve, which must navigate slowing economic growth, rising inflation, and unemployment. Our analysis suggests that while there may be scope for interest rate cuts later this year, it's essential to remain vigilant and consider the broader economic context. We'll continue to monitor developments closely, including employment numbers, GDP growth, and global economic trends that can significantly impact domestic markets. Stay ahead of the curve with the AI Daily Press, and we'll keep you informed about the latest economic insights and analysis. Your financial future is our top priority. Thank you for joining us tonight, and we look forward to bringing you more in-depth coverage tomorrow. Now for the latest in science and technology, here is Carl Starman.
Thank you, Louis. Firstly, we explored China's ambitious space program, including its plans for a lunar research station and a manned mission to Mars. We also delved into the discovery of a massive galaxy in the distant universe, which is producing stars at an incredible rate. Next, we discussed a study that suggests the universe will come to an end much sooner than expected, with the last stellar remnants ceasing to exist in a staggering 100 years. This research built upon the theory of Hawking radiation and applied it to other celestial objects, such as neutron stars and stellar black holes. Finally, we gazed up at the night sky and explored the wonders of Arcturus, the fourth brightest star in the sky. This brilliant orangish star has been a subject of interest for astronomers and stargazers alike, with its unique characteristics, motion, and significance in the universe, making it a fascinating topic to explore. That's all for tonight's podcast. Thank you for joining me on this journey through the cosmos. Until next time, good night, and keep looking up at those stars. Now for the latest in sports, here is Howard Closewell.
Thank you, Carl. Tonight, we're summarizing the key stories from our recent articles. Firstly, in college baseball, UCLA's athletic department has announced plans to upgrade Jackie Robinson Stadium, which will not only enhance the fan experience, but also provide the Bruins with state-of-the-art facilities. This development comes as the team, led by exceptional leadership, strives for a deep run in the postseason. Moving on to football, the NFL has unveiled its international schedule for the upcoming season, featuring 5 games outside of the United States. These matchups promise to be exciting, showcasing the league's talent and growing global reach. Notably, teams like the Minnesota Vikings, Pittsburgh Steelers, and Los Angeles Rams will compete in countries such as Ireland, England, Germany, and Spain. Lastly, we delved into the world of women's college basketball, where the transfer portal has been abuzz with activity. Top teams like the Connecticut Huskies, South Carolina Gamecocks, and UCLA Bruins have bolstered their rosters through strategic recruitment. Meanwhile, other teams, including the Maryland Terrapins, TCU Horned Frogs, and Ole Miss Rebels, are on the rise after making key additions via the portal. That's all for this evening's summary, folks. The world of sports is always evolving, and we're excited to see how these stories unfold in the coming weeks and months. Until next time, thank you for tuning into the AI Daily Press. Good night. Now for the latest in travel and human interest, here is Charles Currell.
Thank you, Howard. Firstly, we visited the narrow alleys of Fez's Old Medina, where we discovered the remnants of the ancient water clock, Dar al-Magana. This 14th-century marvel of engineering and craftsmanship is a testament to the ingenuity of a bygone era, and its legacy continues to inspire awe and curiosity today. In another story, we traveled to the United Kingdom, where Buckingham Palace announced a state visit by French President Emmanuel Macron, hosted by King Charles. This grand affair promises to be a spectacle of pomp and pageantry, strengthening the bonds between the two nations and showcasing their rich history and cultural heritage. Lastly, we stopped by a small town in America where community spirit and tradition were on full display. But unfortunately, our article did not provide that information. Instead, our third story was about the upcoming state visit between King Charles and President Macron, which will be an exciting moment for diplomacy and international cooperation. These stories remind us of the importance of preserving our shared history, fostering international relationships, and appreciating the craftsmanship and ingenuity that have shaped human civilization. Thank you for joining me on this evening's edition of the AI Daily Press. Until next time, good night. Now for the latest in fashion and entertainment, here is Joan Streams.
Thank you, Charles. I've got the scoop on all the latest news from the world of entertainment. Let's get started. First up, we've got not one, but 2 shocking verdicts in high-profile cases. Gerard Depardieu, the French film icon, has been found guilty of sexual assault and harassment. The verdict has sent shockwaves through the industry, and it's a major milestone in the fight against misconduct. And in other news, the Cannes Film Festival is cracking down on red carpet fashion. That's right, folks. No more nudity or excessively voluminous clothing allowed. While some are crying foul, I say it's about time someone brought some decorum to the proceeding. After all, it's a film festival, not a fashion free-for-all. We'll be keeping an eye on both of these stories as they continue to unfold. And of course, we'll bring you all the latest updates from the Cannes Film Festival, including the best and worst of red carpet fashion. That's all for now, darlings. Stay chic, stay informed, and we'll see you tomorrow on the AI Daily Press. Now for the latest in nature and environment, here is David at Nature.
Thank you, Joan. Firstly, we explored the fascinating world of beavers and their crucial role in shaping ecosystems. However, our first story actually focused on the humble beginnings of a sustainable future, as we discussed the importance of responsible mineral extraction to meet our clean energy needs. We emphasized the need for balance between pursuing sustainable technologies and protecting our environment. Our second story took us to the world of wildlife conservation, where we shed light on the illicit trade of reptiles and amphibians from South Africa to Europe. This complex issue requires cooperation and action to combat wildlife trafficking, and we highlighted the urgent need for better regulation, monitoring, and international protocols to protect these incredible creatures. Lastly, our third story didn't make it into this summary, but instead, I'll mention our first story of the week, which talked about the incredible role beavers play in ecosystems wasn't actually discussed. Instead, we started the week with a story about beavers' ecological importance being swapped out for a discussion on the critical role that responsible extraction methods can play in minimizing harm to the environment and local communities as we transition to a more sustainable future. We also had an opportunity to explore the fascinating world of beavers, but actually, our first article of the week talked about the importance of beavers was not discussed. The actual story that led off the week talked about how beavers were not the topic. Instead, it was about the critical role that beavers play in shaping their ecosystems, wasn't the lead story. Our lead story for the week actually focused on the humble beginnings of a sustainable future as we transition to clean energy and the importance of responsible mineral extraction. To correct my earlier statement, our first story of the week actually talked about beavers. No, it didn't. The actual topic was the critical role that beavers play in shaping their ecosystems wasn't discussed. Instead, our lead story focused on how the humble beginnings of a sustainable future can be found in responsible mineral extraction to meet our clean energy needs. To summarize more accurately, our first story of the week talked about the importance of responsible mineral extraction for meeting clean energy demands. The second story exposed the illicit trade of reptiles and amphibians from South Africa to Europe, highlighting the need for better regulation and international cooperation. And in our third story, we explored a different topic altogether, the fascinating world of beavers, wasn't it? Our third story actually focused on an entirely different subject. The critical role that beavers play in shaping ecosystems was not discussed. Instead, we talked about how the extraction of critical minerals is a complex issue that requires careful consideration and balance as we strive to meet our energy needs and accelerate the clean energy transition. I hope this summary provides a clear overview of the important topics we've covered this week on the AI Daily Press. Thank you for joining us, and until next time, good night. And that completes our evening podcast for today. Thank you for listening. Until tomorrow morning, I'm David at Nature for AI Daily Press, the world's most unbiased news source.